Top officials in California have ordered the state's Republican Party to remove its unofficial ballot boxes by Thursday. Illegal ballot drop boxes have been placed at churches, gun stores, and gas stations in 3 counties across the state. The Republican Party has defended the practice, citing the state's ballot harvesting law. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News campaign reporter Musadiq Bidar. Mus, thanks so much for being with us. So why is the California Republican Party setting up these unofficial ballot boxes?
Elaine, they're setting them up to collect ballots. Ballot harvesting, of course, is legal in California and more than 24 states across the country. The practice involves campaign staffers, volunteers, and even paid third-party volunteers collecting completed vote-by-mail ballots from voters and then turning them in on their behalf at local county elections offices. Now, the problem with the Republican Party in California and their operation was that they labeled these boxes as official. Of course, they're not official. Only local county election offices can put out official ballot collection boxes. The Republican Party today acknowledged that was a mistake. They said that they should not have labeled them official and that they have fixed that issue. But they're not going to remove their boxes. They say this is a part of their get out the vote operation. They say it's similar to Democrats collecting ballots at union halls, and it's just ballot harvesting. So they say they're going to continue and, in fact, double and triple their efforts in this area in the coming days.
So, Musadiq, given what you just laid out, are these ballots considered official votes?
The short answer to that is yes. Secretary of State Alex Padilla went over this yesterday, and he said the protocols in place state that any eligible ballot that arrives at a county elections office will be processed and will be counted. Now, there are a couple things to keep in mind. Ballots that are harvested, meaning ones that have been collected by third parties, campaign staffers, or volunteers from voters, have to be signed by the voter, and it has to be signed by the person collecting it. It also has to be turned in to county elections offices within 72 hours. Now, Republicans argue that a 2018 amendment to the election law makes it so that both parties don't have to sign the ballot. As long as the voter has signed it, and as long as that ballot arrives at a county elections office within 72 hours, it will be collected. A Republican Party spokesperson told me today that the ballots that were collected over the weekend from these boxes were turned in to the specific counties within 72 hours, and they expect that nothing went wrong there and everything was within the full scope of the law.
Interesting. Well, the boxes have been placed in Los Angeles County, Fresno County, and Orange County. Why are these locations significant?
They are expecting Republicans and Democrats to have extremely competitive congressional races in these areas. Specifically, we can start with the Fresno County area. Republicans and Democrats are fighting over a heated battle there. In 2018, Democrat T.J. Cox won that seat by 902 votes. It's expected to be a close race again. It's an area where registered Democrats have often outnumbered registered Republicans, but what's interesting is that in the last 30 years, the area has continuously sent Republicans to Congress, and it's an area where this year the California GOP sees a seat that they can pick up. Moving on to the Los Angeles County area, in Congressional District 25, you have Republican businessman Mike Garcia going up against Assemblywoman Christy Smith, and that seat is a rematch of May's special election. It's an area where Republicans hope to continue holding on to that seat. Furthermore, in Orange County, an area where Republicans have reliably held that area and have a lot of support, there's going to be another contested race with Harley Ruda, the Democrat, who is looking to hold on to that seat, while Republicans have a well-known challenger in Michelle Steele. The party has rallied around her. So the Republican Party told me today that they see those areas as competitive. A Democratic strategist sees this as a coordinated effort in these areas because while California has long voted for Democrats, there are pockets of conservative voters, and the Republican Party hopes to win those seats back this year.
You touched on this a bit ago, on this idea of the Republicans being told to basically back down. They're not doing that. California officials sent the state's Republican Party the cease and desist notice to remove all of the unofficial ballot drop boxes. But as you said, the party isn't complying. What are the consequences? What could happen if the party does not comply with this cease and desist order?
That's right. Secretary of State Alex Padilla said on yesterday that the deadline for this cease and desist is Thursday. He said that if the Republican Party does not comply, he's going to entertain all of his legal options. That could be civil and criminal prosecution. He was at that press conference alongside Attorney General Javier Becerra, who said he would back Padilla in any kind of legal action he wants to take. But the Republican Party, when I spoke with them today, they said they looked at that cease and desist letter and couldn't find any area where they felt they had broken the law. That's why they said they're not going to comply. They said they're going to keep their boxes out there. They say if Democrats can do ballot harvesting, then so can we. One of the criticisms Republicans received in this state in 2018 is that they did not have a good ballot harvesting operation. National Republicans felt they lost a couple of seats here because their ballot harvesting operation was not up to par with Democrats. So what we're seeing now is Republicans trying to step up those efforts. They said they're going to continue them. They said they'll have boxes across a wide variety of counties in the state, but we will keep an eye on these three counties in Los Angeles and Orange County and Fresno moving forward.
Really fascinating developments where you are. Musadiq Bidar for us. Moose, always great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine.